Okay, we have returned. Welcome everyone. It's now time for case number 18. Or no, not 18, but number 20 rather. Scry for help. Matthew, we've solved Agnes Leake's enigma and proved ourselves worthy of the spell to protect our minds against demons. But Agnes will only meet with us after the witch's holy Sabbath, Walpurgis Night, which takes place this evening. We can't get our hands on that spell soon enough, Matthew. That demon that's ravaging Gwen's mind has nearly driven her insane. We're having to monitor her 24/7. Luke won't leave her bedside. We're all worried about Gwen, but we've also got another problem on our hands. The missing children will be eaten by an evil witch or witches during the Walpurgis Night celebrations. The witch we met in Aquamarine City, Belinda, says she'd contact us via this crystal ball once she learns the location of the celebration. Wait, I see something inside the ball. Quick, take a look. Matthew, I have good news. Walpurgis Night is being held at an abandoned castle here in Indiana. And I've located all of the missing children. Meet me here as soon as you can and I'll explain everything. Matthew, you need to get to that castle once. I'll join you. Now the castle entrance. Just our luck. And just my luck, I didn't get the first star. Darn it! That's Belinda lying by that cauldron, and she's dead. Judging by the stains on her, she was drowned in whatever was cooking in that cauldron. Probably hit on the head first, or else she'd have fought back, by force or by magic. What rotten luck, Matthew. Our one witch ally gets murdered as soon as she has intel for us. Never an easy win in the supernatural cop business, eh? And you're right, the mastermind witch behind this child-eating plot must be the one who silenced Belinda. And that means that witch or witches still have the kids hidden somewhere. So the mission's clear. Find the killer and save the kids. So what are you waiting for? Search that bird's nest for clues and let's get down to business. Sit tight, everybody. I need to get stars. Well, despite I fell asleep earlier, let's get this out of the way. I got 8 stars. That should be enough. Matthew, there's an earring in this bird's nest. You say you've seen this earring before? Right, you and Felix returned an earring like this to a young witch in Chicago. One of the quests we had to do was for the mind protection spell. Avery Mitchell, that's the one. She and Felix struck up quite a friendship, I recall. Avery's almost a child herself, too young for kidnapping and murdering, but never underestimate a witch, Matthew. We'd better question her. Okay, let's find out what she's doing here. Matthew, thanks for returning my earring. Again. Listen, you didn't tell anyone I'm here, did you? Why? Been doing something you weren't supposed to? Ugh. Why are all old people such a bore? You sound just like those stick-in-the-mud witches. They won't let me join the Walpurgis Night celebrations because I'm not 16 yet. I told them my birthday is in 2 months, but Belinda threw me out. So I hid in a tree and I'm going to sneak back in once Belinda is distracted. No, you won't. Belinda was right. This place isn't safe for you, and it wasn't safe for her either. I'm afraid Belinda's been murdered. Murdered? How? When? I didn't see a thing. Probably for the best. We're taking you back to our base, kiddo. Last thing we need is another child getting... Child? I'm a grown witch. Just ask... Alright, no need for that look. I know you guys are hunters, and that's like the cost for us supernatural folk. At least I'll get to hang out with Felix. Good. Now, Matthew, let's look inside this castle and see what we find. Matthew, this place looks abandoned. The witches are eerily quiet before their Walpurgis night. And I see no sign of those missing children. Perhaps they were moved after Belinda found them. Speaking of which, that sandwich wrapper has Belinda's name on it. We should recover the writing. You better open that box, too. And I don't need to tell you what to do with those broken pieces. Everything now. I have enough stars. Belinda's death is drawing closer. The writing on the sandwich wrapper reads, Belinda's death is drawing closer. Matthew, this is a threat if ever I heard one. We need to find whoever wrote it. You think finding a match for that logo on the wrapper will do the trick? Smart idea, Matthew. Let's get to it. Got the 9. Heather's Cafe. This logo is a match for a cafe in Parkford, Minnesota. Didn't you meet a Wiccan who worked in a cafe in Parkford, Matthew? What was her name again? Right, Heather Knight. She helped us deactivate that golem, so maybe she'll help us again. Let's talk to her. What are you doing here, Matthew? Walpurgis Night is off limits to non-witches. Nowhere is off limits when a murder's been committed. Can you explain these scribblings we found? Yeah, I had a weird premonition about Belinda dying, so I asked the tea leaves to reveal her destiny, and the answer was soon. Wait, you mentioned a murder. Don't tell me my premonition has come true. Belinda was murdered, yes. I assume you claim to know nothing about it. Nothing at all. I'm still learning to use my witchy powers, Matthew. This is my first Walpurgis Night. I just got a tattoo to mark the occasion. It's nice to finally be with my own kind. But Belinda's murder has me a bit spooked. I never expected my premonition to come true. What about a bunch of missing children who are being held hostage here? Happen to have a premonition about that too? What? There are no children here, Matthew. Only witches are allowed, and they must be 16. And you should probably leave too, Matthew. I promise to call you if anything unusual happens. There we go. You say this tiara is identical to the one our victim wore, Matthew? Then our killer might have left it here after the murder. Let's get that tiara to Priya. Walpurgis. What's in that box, Matthew? A chalice? I wonder. Hunters, get your dirty paws off my chalice. And who might you be? I am Pandora Geis, the witch presiding over the Walpurgis Night festivities, and that's my ceremonial chalice. Well, Pandora, Matthew and I have some questions for you. Didn't your mother teach you it's rude to stare, Matthew? Were you born a goat? No, I accidentally hexed myself one day and decided I liked the look. Adds a bit of gravitas to ceremonial proceedings. I preside over Walpurgis Night, you see. These days it's all about chanting and cocktails, but centuries ago we used to sacrifice one of our own by cooking her in the cauldron. Funny you should say that, since we found your fellow witch Belinda drowned in a cauldron. Oh no, that's not how it's done. That must be some common murder. Nothing to do with the fine ancient traditions of Walpurgis Night. You don't seem too upset by a fellow witch's death. What's your position on eating children? Is that another fine Walpurgis Night tradition? We did away with that one too, unfortunately. Crying shame if you ask me. And that's it. I'll see you guys when these two have run their courses. I'll have all stars collected by then. For now, this is Matthew. Catch you later. Oh, seems I fell asleep earlier, but welcome back. We're going to get the results of the victim's body now. You being out on the field feels like the old days, don't it, Jake? Back when it was just the two of us. At least back then, you and I were the only ones who could get hurt. I can't help but feel responsible for what's happening to Gwen. Gwen's a tough cookie. She'll pull through. But in the meantime, here's a lowdown on the body. As you guessed, Belinda died by drowning after a blunt force trauma to the head. I also found traces of chamomile around her head wound. At first I thought it could have come from the cauldron. But Priya ran some toxicology tests on the residue found in the victim's lungs. And it turns out whatever was cooking in that cauldron had no chamomile in it. So the chamomile came from the killer. You got it, old friend. You're looking for someone who uses chamomile. Now Matthew's a step closer to finding the witch who kidnapped the kids and killed Belinda. Gotta get a Kleenex. I don't know if my cold's coming back or what, but... It warms my heart the way Luke's looking after Gwen, Matthew. He keeps reassuring her she'll be okay. The kid's come a long way since he joined our team. I just hope he's right about Gwen. Now, what can you tell us about the victim's tiara? I found traces of your victim's blood on it, confirming your killer handled the tiara after the murder. And I also identified a curious combination of crushed insects, snails, and earthworms. And this particular combination is used in food for domesticated owls. My research also confirmed that Belinda didn't have a pet owl, so the residue can only have come from the killer. Witches like owls, Matthew, and your killer definitely owns one. So our killer has an owl. They will have a hoot in jail. Matthew, Chief, whatever you're doing, I hope it's going to help Gwen because she's getting more delirious by the hour. I might have to move her to Priya's cage just to keep her safe from herself. Where the hell is Agnes Leak with that protection spell? I'm afraid Gwen has to hang in there a little while longer. We haven't heard from Agnes Leak at all. We haven't made much progress with the missing kids either, and our informant witch, Belinda, got drowned in a cauldron. Great. Well, at least Felix is having fun. He's playing board games with some kid witch. That's Avery. We found her lurking outside the castle. She's too young to attend Walpurgis Night, so Belinda threw her out. We also met Heather Knight, that waitress from Parkford. She had a premonition about Belinda dying and claimed to be spooked by it. Then there's the Master of Ceremonies, Pandora Geiss. She's definitely strange, but... Matthew, I have a lead. What is it, Felix? I think I know where the witches are keeping the kidnapped kids. Hello. I'll see you guys for chapter 2. Don't go anywhere. Okay, we are back. Let's start chapter 2 of Scry for Help. We last left off with Felix saying he has a lead. I think I've discovered where the witches were keeping the kidnapped kids. See, the crystal ball lit up and showed me this insane room. Wait, we're keeping? So the children aren't there anymore? No, but you gotta see this place, Matthew. It's straight out of a fairy tale. It's an enchanted room made entirely of candy. Candy? I have a bad feeling about this. Sounds like the witches have been fattening the kids up for Walpurgis Night. But I agree, Matthew. Even if the kids aren't there anymore, we must search that room. It's our best shot at finding the kids and Belinda's killer. Got it. Wow, Felix was right. This place is like a fairy tale. Don't be tempted to eat any of this candy, Matthew. Who knows what spell the witches have put on it. Nicely spotted, Matthew. The green goo on that glove looks exactly like the stuff that was in the cauldron Belinda drowned in. If that is the same substance, then this glove belongs to her killer. Let's collect a sample. And you always need to find a lead from a simple scrap of paper, no matter how many pieces it's torn into. So let's put these together and... What are you doing in here, Matthew? How dare you dishonor the sanctity of Walpurgis Night? Ah, Morgana. I was wondering when the Coven leader might make an appearance. I'm afraid we have some questions before you can get on with your festivities. Look at the stars in the morning. I'm a little too tired right now, but I did fall asleep earlier. I meant to get this as soon as I got home from college basketball game. UH winning. Hawaii winning over Fullerton. That green goo you found on that witch's glove sure looks messy, Matthew. Now let's get that sample to Priya. Got it. That's a child's drawing you've put together, Matthew, but it's no fairy tale. Those kids look terrified. They're being protected by Belinda against a monster that looks a lot like Pandora Geis. You're right, Matthew. Danny Burnett of Chicago said his brother was abducted by a monster. What if that monster was Pandora? She was clearly disappointed that eating children was no longer part of Walpurgis Night. Perhaps she's hell-bent on bringing the tradition back. I say it's time to interrogate that goat-headed witch, Matthew. Ah, Matthew, I'd offer you some chamomile, but from the look on your faces, you're not in the mood for tea. You got that right, Pandora. You claim eating children is no longer part of the Walpurgis festivities, so how do you explain this drawing? This drawing? Matthew, my goat eyes aren't as good as yours. It's all a blur to me. It's a bunch of terrified kids hiding from a monster that looks like you, and this is Belinda protecting the children from your attacks. Belinda, yes, she must have drawn that picture. She always had a vivid imagination, and she met plenty of kids when she worked in that amusement park. I'm sure if Belinda were alive, she'd love to tell you all about it, Matthew, but sadly she's no longer with us, and I'm still very busy with the preparations. Well, what shall we talk about first, Morgana? The abducted kids you have hidden away somewhere? Or Belinda, who ended up drowned in a cauldron? Ah, your obsession with those children. As I told you, Matthew, in Iowa, none of my witches have abducted anyone. Or so you say. Why do you need an enchanted room stuffed with candy then? Let's say we witches have a sweet tooth. And you know what witches also have? A preference for privacy on their sacred night. My messenger Owl reported an underage intruder earlier, and now you. Look, Matthew, as a gesture of goodwill, I shan't throw you out. Belinda's murder displeases me too. I will not stand in the way of your inquest. But I can't vouch for your safety at this castle either. Remain here at your own risk, hunters. I hate to say it, but I don't think she's the one. I'll see you guys when the green goo has run its course. I'll see y'all soon. Okay, we are back. Just about to take a shower, but first we'll get this out of the way. The green goo. Yes, Mom, yes, I will. I've got to go now. I've got work to do. Speak to you soon. Sorry about that, Matthew. I was just telling my mother about my date with Xander, and naturally she's already mapped out our entire lives together. Marriage, kids, a house with a white picket fence. If only she knew the two of us are werewolves. I'm sure she only wants the best for you, Priya. Now, do you have anything for us on that green goo Matthew found on that witch's glove? I do. First of all, the green substance is exactly the same as the stuff Belinda was drowned in, so you can be sure that glove belonged to the killer. Secondly, I also detected traces of an aloe vera salve mixed in with the goo, a compound specifically used to treat tattoos. Now, since that glove obviously belonged to the killer, then the logical conclusion is that they have a tattoo. That narrows down our list of suspects, Matthew. The killer will find it hard to hide a tattoo from us. And we've already met one witch who mentioned tattoos, Heather Knight. And we noticed Pandora Geist had one on her arm too. I'll note it down. Right, we've been cooped up inside long enough, Matthew. Let's head back out and do another sweep in front of the castle. Got them all. Oh boy, a miniature coffin with the victim's name on it. That can't be a good thing, Matthew. It doesn't take a warlock to imagine what's probably inside that small coffin. But let's open it up and see. And that piece of paper also has Belinda written on it, but the rest is covered by some purple powder. Let's clean that powder away. Gonna get a few stars. Sit tight, everybody. Okay, I got 4 stars. Let's take care of this thing right now first. This purple powder. I didn't realize how long this was going to take. But then again, I do have a lot of stuff going on. Got it. This paper is a tally of votes for the Witches' Council, Matthew. And whatever they were voting on, the only witch who voted against it was Belinda. Could this have anything to do with her murder? Good idea, Matthew. Let's put that purple powder from the paper under the microscope. That might give us some kind of lead. Of course, I post all my coins and my rewards. Powdered hair dye. This purple powder you collected off that Witches' Council document is the pigment found in hair dye. You're right, Matthew. Heather Knight has this particular color in her hair. So maybe Heather can tell us about this ballot at the Witches' Council, where Belinda's vote was the only nay. Let's ask her. Hillian Grampet Aspipende Cussel. Sorry about that, Matthew. I was just asking my owl Kristoff to fetch me some fresh chamomile. We wanted to ask you about this council vote. Do you know what this is all about? I suppose I could lie, but you'd probably find out from one of the other witches anyway. The council was voting on my admittance to the coven, and Belinda was the only one who voted against me. But since all senior council members have to approve a new witch... That must be disappointing, unless Belinda's vote is void now that she's dead. No, her vote still counts. Witches have strict rules, Matthew, and I intend to respect them. Even if they plot awful things, like eating children? I don't believe they do such a thing, and I'll stand by them until you prove otherwise. Wait, let me repeat that one. Oh no, this isn't it. This was it. But since all senior council members had to approve a new witch's acceptance to the coven, Belinda's nay was enough to crush my hopes. That must be disappointing. Okay, that'll do. Now for this miniature coffin. Ooh. Yep, that's exactly what I was expecting to find inside that miniature coffin, Matthew. A small effigy of the victim. This has to be some sort of hex, But which witch would have done this? Let's send the effigy to Felix and find out. Alright, I'll see you guys when the effigy is done. I'll see y'all soon. Okay, we are back. Let's get the results of the effigy from Felix. And then you just flick your wrist and... I've got it. Check it out, Matthew. I'm making this effigy levitate. Looks like you two are getting along fine, but I hope it's not all been fun and games. Don't worry, Chief. We've been working. Avery and I have discovered some important clues about this effigy of the victim. It didn't take me long to work out that it was Agnes Leek who made this image of Belinda. It's made out of the same bone she has on her necklace. Agnes Leek? I wonder what she had against Belinda. Well, you can ask her that yourself. I turned into Agnes's aura on this effigy. I tuned into Agnes's aura on this effigy, and I can sense her presence. She's here at the castle for Walpurgis night. Then let's go talk to her, Matthew. You'll need to be tactful though, Chief. Don't forget, we need Agnes's help with the mind protection spell. So don't go in all guns blazing and offend the old crone, okay? Right. I'll be on my best behavior. I just hope the old witch won't backstab us. No time to talk, Matthew. I'm just brewing a chamomile potion, and then I have to do my makeup for Walpurgis night. I know we have a little unfinished mind protection business, but that will have to wait. If you're so busy, how come you had time to make this effigy of Belinda, who's been murdered as it happens? Bah! Belinda, an insufferable goody two-shoes, couldn't stand the constant smile on her face. She once stole my whole collection of rare snake venom and replaced it with Rocket Cow. And it wasn't even a prank. She did it with genuine concern for my safety. And your response was to put a curse on her with that effigy? I see you whippersnappers are subtly experts on spells. Then you won't need me to tell you that the hex was completely harmless. All I would have done was give Belinda gas. Now be gone before I turn you both into weasels. Matthew, we still haven't found the missing kids, and midnight is drawing closer. They will be served as dinner at Walpurgis night if we don't save them. And we still don't know who drowned the good witch Belinda in the cauldron. My money is on Pandora, who's very likely the kidnapper of the children, but personally, I don't trust Morgana either. Agnes Lee clearly disliked the victim, and Heather Knight had a clear motive, but... Matthew, Chief, come quickly! I just found Felix unconscious in his trailer, and Avery Mitchell is gone! We're gonna have to solve that problem when we get to Chapter 3. Don't go anywhere! Okay, we are back. Let's start Chapter 3 of Scry for Help. Last left off with Felix unconscious. This was it. What? Did they get attacked? Or did Avery do something to Felix? We better check this out, Matthew. Chief, believe me, I feel stupid for having let this happen. To have let what happen? Are you alright? Yeah, Avery and I were talking about ancient Viking curses one minute. The next thing I know, Hope is shaking me awake and yelling that Avery's gone. Kiddo must have whacked me unconscious with a spell. Serves me right to let my guard down with a witch. I know she was desperate to go to Walpurgis Night, but I didn't think she'd attack me and leg it. Great. Just what we needed. Either she's a rebel teen, now in great danger, or she's actually involved in something sinister. Either way, we better look for her in the castle. Felix, you should come with us. Okay, let's do it. I don't see Avery anywhere. You guys found anything? Matthew hit the jackpot with Belinda's diary. We just have to unlock it. And this vat might hide something too, so we're going to search it. What about that owl? There's a note in its beak. We'd better recover the writing on it. Let's get to work, team. We've got a murder to solve, some kids to save, and now a fugitive to find. Moment, folks. Look in the crystal ball, Avery. Matthew, it's Avery who sent us this owl. The note in its beak is signed by her, and it says, "Look in the crystal ball." She must mean Belinda's crystal ball. Since she's given it to us, we can now use it too. Matthew, I got a bad feeling about this. We better rush to my trailer and take a peek in that crystal ball. Alright, let's see if I can make this work. Avery, are you there? We got your message and... Matthew, Felix, help me! I'm trapped with the other kids. We don't have much time. You've got to help us. Matthew, did you hear that? We must find out what happened to Avery. Avery, are you there? Felix, I'm super sorry for hexing you. I just wanted to help you guys find those missing kids. So I snuck back into the castle, but I was attacked with black magic, and now I'm a prisoner with the other kids. I have no idea where we are, but the kids are all here, and they're terrified. The witches are going to eat us if you don't come soon. Avery? Guys, are you still there? Matthew, I've lost them. What do we do now? Avery's now a hostage with the other kids. What are you waiting for, Matthew? Go join the chief to look for those kids before it's too late. Crystal. Matthew, you found a crystal among those witchy ingredients in the vat? Let me see it. I think... Chief, put that crystal down. What? I can't breathe. Ugh. Chief! Matthew, whatever you do, don't touch that crystal. It's cursed. The chief needs a healing spell. Here it goes. What happened? Last thing I remember, I was holding that crystal we found in the witch's vat, and then I couldn't breathe. It's because that crystal's cursed. Cursed? Then it must have been a trap. Someone wanted us to find the darn thing. Someone trying to throw us off the killer's trail, no doubt. Thank goodness you were here, Felix. If you ask me, Matthew, this has Agnes Leak written all over it. Cursing crystals is the old school kind of thing that was popular in her youth. Agnes Leak, she tried to kill us. She's going to answer for this, and whatever else she's done. Matthew, I told you to come back after the ceremony. I have to go and feed my owl. You tried to kill us, and now you're going to admit whatever else you've done. Tried to kill you? That means you must have found my crystal. A pretty thing, isn't it? I have a tattoo of it on my... Never mind. What matters is that you've passed the last test. Quick thinking on your feet. Congratulations, hunters. Now you've proven yourselves worthy. The last test? What on earth are you talking about? The mind protection spell. You didn't think I was going to give it to you without making you sweat a little. Don't look at me like that, Chief Arrow. I know you're angry, but you're also desperate for my help. Your friend is ill and you fear the worst. So stop accusing me of murder and kidnapping and more murder. I might still help you out in the end, if you ask nicely. Good witch. Diary. Fingers crossed it's safe for Hope to open it. Okay? I'll see you guys when Belinda's diary has run its course. So we'll see y'all soon.
Okay, we have returned. Let's get the results of Belinda's diary. Hello, Chief. Is this a surprise visit to check on me?
To see if I'm secretly talking to demons? What? No, If you wanted to see Gwen, she's not here. She ought to be moved into Priya's cage. She's hanging onto her sanity by the skin of her teeth. Hope, can you take me on this guilt trip some other time? Belinda's murder investigation is turning into a nightmare on its own. Matthew and I could use a hand. Sorry, Chief. I didn't mean to be a brat. I know this case has taken a few twists, and I've unearthed another surprise from Belinda's diary. Matthew, did you ever wonder why Belinda never used her last name? It's because she was Belinda Blackhawk, Morgana's little sister. Belinda and Morgana were sisters? Well, I would never have guessed. They had nothing in common. Exactly. Total opposites. They've had a rocky relationship since childhood, and when Morgana became the Coven leader, things got worse between them. But what worries me is last night's entry. Brief, but alarming. I must confront Morgana, even defy her, if necessary. What do you suppose it's about? Could be anything, but Matthew's right. We'd better ask Morgana about it. Morgana, you've never told us Belinda was your little sister. Why the secrecy? It wasn't my secret. Belinda was the one too ashamed to use her last name. She thought she was better than me, the proverbial good witch. Was I supposed to be the evil one? You tell us. Apparently she wanted to challenge you about something. She challenged me about everything. She criticized my tattoos, my clothes, my choice of venue for Walpurgis night. In short, every decision I've ever made. That must have tried your patience. Did she push my buttons until I drowned her? No. No, Matthew. Blood is thicker than water, or whatever was cooking in that cauldron. I'll lay some chamomile flowers on her grave myself when we bury her. Matthew, I can't decide if this is a witch's coven or a viper's nest. Belinda's murder was just the beginning. Since then, Felix and I have both been cursed, and Avery got kidnapped. The old crone, Agnes Leek, is the worst. I swear, if we didn't need her help, I don't know what I'd do with her. Meanwhile, we discovered that Belinda and Morgana were sisters, siblings with magical powers, at each other's throats. That's a recipe for disaster. Boy, I'm glad to have you by my side, Matthew. With kids to save and a killer to find, we still have a busy night ahead. You want to take another look at that enchanted candy room? Alright, let's show these witches what we hunters give as good as we get.
boy, I'm not gonna get this first one. No.
Matthew, that looks like the end of Belinda's wand. Her attacker must have broken it, so Belinda couldn't defend herself with magic. Collecting some skin cells from the wand should lead us to her killer. And Ben said the killer hit Belinda in the head before drowning her in the cauldron. Those broken pieces might be what they used. Let's put them back together. Very cunning of the killer to hide evidence in an enchanted room. But it takes more than that to outsmart hunters like us, Matthew. Got it. Good job grabbing those skin cells from Belinda's wand, Matthew. Let's get them to Ben. Matthew, this Black Angel statue could be what the killer used to hit Belinda in the head. Let's send it to Priya. Okay, 15 hours. I'll see you guys when these two are finished. See y'all soon. And we return. Let's get the results of the skin cells. Guys, do me a favor and be careful out there with the witches. Midnight's drawing closer and I can't treat more magical casualties tonight. Sure, buddy. So tell us, any results about those skin cells from the victim's wand? Yep, the DNA was just a fragment, but I can tell you it's not Belinda's. The killer left it on the wand when they broke it. And the results show the killer has blue eyes. Thanks, pal. Matthew, let's go and catch this blue-eyed witch before they fire up the cauldron again. Matthew, I hope you're close to cracking this case, because I don't know what worries me more. Gwen being on her last legs, or those poor kids becoming dinner at midnight. We're on it, Priya. Now tell us, was that statue Matthew restored used in the murder? Definitely. I found Belinda's blood and hair on the statue. No doubt the killer hit her on the head with it. But not all of the blood matched the victim. Looks like the killer also injured themselves. And now we know their blood type is O negative. Blood type O negative. Understood. Come on, Matthew. We're closing in on our killer. Matthew, it's time to take the final stand against the witch who killed Belinda and kidnapped a bunch of children. Let's go. Definitely not Avery Mitchell. It's definitely not Pandora Geiss. Wait a minute. Not Morgana Blackhawk. And certainly not Agnes Leak. It was this one. Heather Knight, you're the one who killed Belinda. Me? Matthew, you must be mistaken. I'm surprised as well. You don't look half as shifty as the rest of them. But there's no mistake. So tell us, why come all the way from Parkford to your first Walpurgis night to kill a witch you barely knew? I didn't come here to kill her. I had no idea I'd be the one to fulfill my premonition about Belinda's death. Alright, Matthew. Here's the truth. I came here because I couldn't stand Parkford anymore. People shunned me for being a witch. I wanted to be accepted. I found this coven and asked to join. I had high hopes when they invited me to Walpurgis night. But then Belinda voted against you in the council, so you took revenge. No, it wasn't revenge. Morgana told me to do it. She promised to override the vote. She promised to take me in anyway. She only asked one thing in return, that I kill Belinda. I didn't even think to ask why. I couldn't refuse a chance to belong. I had to obey the coven leader. You poor foolish child. Morgana used you in a plot more dreadful than you realize. Before Belinda died, she told us she'd found the missing children. She must have confronted Morgana about it, and that's when Morgana decided to kill her. Blood is thicker than water, she said, so she used you to do her dirty work. What? You mean the rumor about the kidnapped children is true? Morgana was behind that too? Matthew, I swear I didn't know. It's too late for regrets, Heather. The authorities will deal with you for the murder. But Matthew, we still have work to do. Matthew, I've heard you found Belinda's killer. Heather Knight drowned her, but on Morgana's orders. Heather will face justice for what she's done, but first we still need to save the children, and then make sure Morgana doesn't escape justice either. Midnight is drawing closer, Matthew. We don't have a minute to lose. And we'll see you guys for Fireburn and Cauldron Bubble 5-5. Okay, we are back. Let's start Fireburn and Cauldron Bubble 5-5. Matthew, we've handed Heather Knight over to the authorities for murdering Belinda. But it turns out that the kill order was given by Morgana Blackhawk after Belinda discovered she was behind the child kidnappings. Matthew, you need to find those kids and bring Morgana to justice. I think I have a lead, Matthew. Hope found this weird password when she was looking through the rest of Belinda's diary. There's no mention of what the password is for, but what if it's related to the missing children? We can be sure that that enchanted candy room housed the kids at some point. Maybe the password opens something there. Matthew, I also have some good news. Agnes Leak is ready to give us the mind protection spell. Alrighty, meet me at the candy room once you're done talking to Agnes Leak with Luke, Matthew. So, Matthew, I hear Heather and Morgana were responsible for boring Belinda's demise. Never did I like either of them. Heather was a simpering idiot, and Morgana's head is so far up her own. Ms. Leak, we're actually here for that mind protection spell you promised us. Our friend's been tormented by demons for weeks, and she's on the verge of losing her mind completely. Young people these days, no time for polite conversation. Anyway, I still need one ingredient for the spell. Extract of the false death cap mushrooms that grow outside the castle. I'll take the other ingredients to your werewolf friend, while you head outside to collect the mushroom extract. According to this, those mushrooms are the false death caps Agnes Leek needs for her mind protection spell. Let's collect some of the mushroom's juices, quick! Got it. Matthew, now that you've got that mushroom extract for Agnes's mind protection spell, you need to get it to Priya. There's not a moment to lose. Got it. Trapdoor. Nice. I get to go up to second place. Still no sign of the kidnapped kids, Matthew. Hang on, what's that you're standing on? It's a trapdoor. Matthew, the enchantment must have started wearing off to reveal the room's true nature. And look, the trapdoor needs a password. What do you reckon it's the one from Belinda's diary? Let's give it a try. Matthew, the code worked. Now let's see what's behind that trap door. Matthew, you found us. I'm so sorry for running away, Felix. Don't sweat it, kid. I'm just happy to see you again. We need to get you guys out of here, and I'll have to check you all over for any hexes or the like in my lab. Okay, I'll see you guys when these two are finished. See you soon. Okay, we are back. Let's get the results. Let's get the kidnapped children out of the way, see if we can save them. Well, Avery and the kids seem to be free of any malevolent mojo, Matthew. And Felix filled me in on how it was Morgana who kidnapped me and the others. I want to take her down, Matthew. And I know just how to do it. See, any witch who misuses her powers for evil is vulnerable to those she's harmed. All you kids need to do is recall your most precious memory, and I'll transform those positive vibes into a spell which will strip Morgana of her powers. I remember when my brother Danny taught me how to skateboard. And I remember when my mommy took me to Aquamarine City. My best memory is when I got my pet rabbit. And mine's the day I came into my powers, Matthew. Great job, kids. Now for the spell. Mother of Earth, sea and seasoned flowers, take back your straying daughter's powers. Morgana Blackhawk, from this day forth, shall walk the earth like common folk. That should do it. Morgana should be totally powerless. I'm coming to confront Morgana with you, Matthew. That meanie pants owes me an apology. What now, Matthew? Avery, you're here. Where else would I be? Oh right, locked up waiting to be served on a platter for Walpurgis night. Alright, I see there's no point lying to you, Matthew. The truth is I was planning to serve you brats up to the coven. The flesh of children would have amplified our powers tenfold. I knew none of the others had the stomach for it, except Pandora, so I had her kidnap the kids and hide them from the rest of the coven. But then goody two-shoes Belinda ruined everything by discovering what I was up to. And that's when you ordered Heather to kill her. Seems like you've got it all figured out, Matthew. Shame I'm going to wipe your memory of this. By wave of wand and power of chant, your mind shall be as blank as that of a plant. Nice try, but Felix here has stripped you of your powers. You'll never use magic to hurt anyone again. My powers? They're gone? Arrgh! Matthew, our work here is done. Pandora will have to be stripped of her powers once I get back to the RV. But before that, let's take Avery for a burger. Matthew, there you are. Your chief called to say you'd located the kidnapped kids. Who might you be? Agent Matheson, FBI. And you are... You're FBI? Oh my god, this is so cool. You look just like they do on the TV. Thank you, I think. And you are... Avery Mitchell, budding witch extraordinaire. You're a witch? So you can do magic. Can you show me a spell? Guys, cute as this is, I reckon it's time you got the kids back to their families, Matheson. Right, of course. This is embarrassing, but I appear to have misplaced my car keys. That'll be the enchantment on the castle. It plays tricks on people. Come on, I'll help you find your keys. there we go. Darn, I don't see my car keys anywhere. Matthew, my witchy senses are tingling. Let's look under that pile of rocks. Ta-da! One set of car keys hiding under those rocks. How extraordinary! Now let's go tell the other children the good news. I'm taking them home. Mister, is it true you're taking us home? I sure am. Now who wants to ride in my bulletproof FBI car? Me! Alright, first stop Chicago. Matthew, before I go, I just want to say thank you. I know I've been a handful, but you've never stopped looking out for me. So I want you to have this. See you around, Matthew. Take it from me, young lady. If a man can't handle you sprouting a bit of body hair every full moon, he's not worth your time. Ah, Matthew, Agnes was just offering me a bit of dating advice. But now that you've brought that mushroom extract, we can start work on the mind protection spell Gwen desperately needs. All you need to do is add the mushroom extract into the cauldron, dearie. Then give it a good stir, and it'll be ready for your friend to consume. But beware, the demon in her mind will resist any attempt to cure her. We'd better conceal the potion in something inconspicuous. How about a matcha latte? It's Gwen's favorite. I was thinking more along the lines of a slug juice smoothie, but whatever you kids think best. Matthew, we've watched Gwen suffer for so long, but now we have the spell to release the demon's hold on her. Let's go. Matthew, is that you? The monsters make me see things that aren't there. It's us, Gwen, and we brought you a drink. I'm not thirsty. Don't be ungrateful, child. Knock it back. Demon be told, release your hold. This mind you shall no longer bind. Matthew, the demons, they're gone. It worked. The mind protection spell worked. No need to sound so surprised. Now I haven't got all day. Gather your friends so I can perform the spell on them too. Well, Matthew, I gotta say that I'm gonna miss Avery now she's gone. I'm just glad we managed to rescue her and the other kidnapped kids before Morgana Blackhawk served them up as a Walpurgis night feast. We stripped Morgana Blackhawk of her powers, so she no longer poses a threat, and I did the same for her accomplice, Pandora. Hey there, Matthew. I just wanted to say thank you for getting that mind protection spell for me. I'm still pretty drained, but I'm finally starting to feel like myself again. Good to hear, Gwen. The fact a demon in human disguise could do such a thing to you is worrying. But it won't happen again now that Agnes Leak has protected all the team. Now we can finally contact Arthur Darkwood to ask him what the Lords of the Netherworld are doing in our world. Let's go. Darkwood, we finally got our hands on that mind protection spell. Now tell us everything. Who the Demon Queen is, why she's... Whoa, hold on, Matthew. I need to check that spell works before I tell you anything. Alright, your minds are completely impenetrable. Now buckle up, Matthew, because this is going to be a long ride. What you learned from Gwen's nightmares is true. There was a civil war between demons some 30 years ago. I fought on the rebel side, against our queen and her supporters. I was badly injured in battle, and lay close to dead for many years. When I finally came to, I discovered that the rebels had succeeded in weakening the queen. They'd locked her up in a magical cage, suspended somewhere between your world and mine, stripped of her powers. But the rebels themselves were nearly all wiped out in the conflict. So nobody really won the war, and the queen survived, but was left powerless and trapped in a cage? Yes, for some years nothing happened, but then rumors started that the queen's faithful were gathering strength, looking to restore her to power. That's when I realized it was time for me to stop hiding in your world as Arthur Darkwood, the writer. As much as I've loved living as a human, I couldn't stand by as the Queen's supporters plotted to liberate her. So I started investigating the rumors. I learned that 5 keys, disguised to conceal their true nature, are needed to unlock the Queen's cage. The Queen's faithful are hunting down these 5 keys, and they already have 4 of them. One was the tree core the werewolves failed to protect in Yellowstone. If I'd known the Queen's supporters were closing in on it, I never would have left the wolves to guard it alone. So that's what Zeke wanted the tree core for. He killed the alpha werewolf for it and took it back to the netherworld. But what about the other keys? 2 are museum artifacts, the scimitar of Carpathia, stolen from the Louvre in Paris, and the manuscript of Ben Becula, stolen from the Smithsonian. I remember Felix grumbling about museum artifacts being stolen. I never imagined they were magical keys to a demon queen's cage. Yes, and the 4th was a sextant on board a sunken ship, guarded by the Kraken, until the queen's loyalists tricked it and stole that too. And what about the 5th key, the one the demons haven't got yet? Nobody knows what or where it is. A rebel demon, Rathimiel, made the keys, but he was hunted down, tortured and killed by the queen's supporters some years ago. I never got the chance to reunite with him after the war, to ask him where the keys were hidden. All I know is that he lives in your world, under an assumed identity, but I don't even know so much as his human name. Only he knew where the final key is hidden, but since he's dead, we can hardly ask him. It's imperative we find the last key before the Queen's faithful do. If we fail, the Queen will rise again and punch a hole in the veil between our realms, allowing demons to pour in en masse. So we need to find a key that could be disguised as absolutely anything, and the only person who knew its location is dead. That's like looking for a needle in a haystack. I know it's not a lot to go on, but there is one thing I can tell you. In my search for my fallen comrade, I discovered that he lived on the East Coast for a while. Now your minds are protected. I need you to help me find out who he was and where he hid the last key. We need to head east, Matthew. Take this money and I'll meet you there. Matthew, this has been one heck of a day. Is it true that Arthur Darkwood finally told you everything he knows about demons? Yes, apparently the Demon Queen was locked up in a magical cage after a bloody civil war. But now, years later, her supporters are rising up again, and they've already found 4 of the 5 keys that open her cage. So we need to get our hands on that last key before the bad demons do. But how do we do that without knowing what it is or where it's hidden? We do have one lead. We need to look into Darkwood's fallen comrade, the one who created the keys. We have no idea of his human identity, but we know he lived on the East Coast, so that's where we're heading. Let's go, Matthew. March 5th, that's a Wednesday. So looks like I can start the next case. Oh no, wait, March 5th is a Thursday. Just did the math in my head. And we're coming down to the end of this. Kind of wonder what the next one's going to be. I like to think we're going to go to Pacific Bay again. Okay, that's going to do, and I'll see you guys on March 5th. For now, this is Matthew. Thank you for watching another of Criminal Case.